The Taken franchise has been a massive success, with Taken 3 alone pulling in $328 million on a $48 million budget. The entire trilogy has grossed over $930 million, proving that audiences love watching Brian Mills use his particular set of skills. But now things might be shifting because Taken 4 is rumored to be in the works, and it could be bringing in some serious star power. There's even talk that Dwayne Johnson might be involved. Here's everything known so far. The big question is, could Taken 4 actually happen? And if it does, would Liam Neeson return? The Taken films transformed Neeson into an unexpected action star. Before the first film, he was primarily known for wise mentor or fatherly roles in movies like Kingdom of Heaven and Batman Begins. But stepping into the role of Brian Mills changed everything. Taken became a breakout hit thanks to its simple yet high-stakes story and Neeson's commanding presence. Its success led to Taken 2, which flipped the script by having Brian himself kidnapped, forcing his daughter Kim to step up and help save him. Even though Neeson initially insisted the sequel would be his last, he returned for Taken 3, this time fighting to clear his name after being framed for his ex-wife's murder. Despite its box office success, Taken 4 has never officially moved forward. Neeson has repeatedly stated he's done with the role, keeping the project in limbo. However, Hollywood has a habit of reviving franchises when least expected, and the Taken series is flexible enough to go in many different directions. Whoa. The ending of Taken 3 saw Brian finally showing some growth, choosing to have Stewart arrested instead of killing him. While this felt like a natural conclusion, it wasn't necessarily a hard stop for the franchise. If Taken 4 were to happen, Brian could be pulled back into action by a new crisis, maybe even one that doesn't involve a kidnapping at all. Alternatively, if Neeson is truly finished, the series could attempt a soft reboot with a new lead. There was an attempt to expand the Taken universe with a TV series in 2017 starring Clive Standen as a younger Brian Mills. The show explored his CIA days and his motivation for becoming the relentless agent seen in the films. While it started with solid ratings, viewership dropped, and a major overhaul in Season 2 wasn't enough to save it. The series was ultimately canceled after 2 seasons. If anything, this proved that audiences weren't particularly interested in Taken unless Neeson himself was leading the charge. With recent rumors about Dwayne Johnson potentially joining, it's clear the series could be looking for a fresh direction. Whether that means keeping Neeson, bringing in a new lead, or doing something entirely unexpected. One interesting possibility is Jason Statham stepping into the franchise. Neeson made Brian Mills an action icon with his particular set of skills, but Statham seems tailor-made for a Taken-style role. His ability to blend intense fight choreography, dry wit, and sheer badasserie makes him a natural fit. And with his upcoming movie, A Working Man, it looks like he's finally stepping into that territory. A Working Man follows a building contractor who unleashes his lethal past when his boss's daughter is kidnapped. Sound familiar? It's essentially Taken with a Statham twist. Directed by David Ayer, known for intense and gritty action films like Fury and The Beekeeper, this won't just be a Taken knockoff, it'll be a brutal, high-energy revenge thriller tailored to Statham's strengths. This raises the question, what if Taken 4 happened with Statham as the lead? Imagine a storyline where Brian Mills has truly retired, passing the torch to someone just as ruthless. Maybe Brian trained an elite group of specialists, and Statham's character is one of them, stepping in when Mills is unable to. Or even wilder, what if Mills and Statham's character were former rivals forced to team up against a new global threat? The possibilities are endless. Taken works because of its simplicity, a man on a mission to save someone he loves, no matter the cost. Statham thrives in these kinds of roles, and A Working Man is proving he can bring the same intensity as Neeson. Whether or not Taken 4 happens, it's exciting to finally see Statham in a Taken-style story. If Hollywood ever does decide to bring the franchise back, they already know who to call. Another way to shake up the Taken series would be to introduce a female-led villain, and Ana de Armas would be a perfect choice. Instead of another faceless crime boss or mercenary leader, she could bring a new kind of antagonist. One just as ruthless, skilled, and resourceful as Brian Mills himself. Auditor. Imagine de Armas as a former intelligence operative who has gone rogue, running a highly sophisticated trafficking network. Unlike past villains in the series, she wouldn't just be a brutal criminal. She'd be a strategist, someone who knows exactly how people like Brian operate. This would make her the most dangerous opponent he's ever faced. Rather than relying on henchmen to do her dirty work, she could be hands-on in the action, matching Brian move for move in combat and outthinking him at every turn. Her motivations could add even more depth to the story. Maybe she has a personal vendetta against Mills, perhaps because one of his past missions inadvertently ruined her life, turning her into the very kind of monster he spent his career fighting. This wouldn't just make her a formidable villain, it would give Taken 4 a more psychological edge, forcing Brian to confront his own past in ways he never has before. De Armas has already proven she can handle intense action roles, but seeing her take on a darker, more sinister character would be something new and thrilling. It would also elevate the franchise by introducing a villain who isn't just evil for the sake of it, but one who is intelligent, dangerous, and possibly even sympathetic in her own way. If Taken 4 wants to evolve, making Ana de Armas the antagonist could be one of the best moves yet. As for filming locations, Taken 4 would need to follow the logical progression of Brian Mills' story. The last film ended in Los Angeles, where Brian cleared his name after being framed for his ex-wife's murder and reunited with his daughter Kim, who revealed she was pregnant. Given this, Taken 4 could start in Los Angeles to maintain continuity before shifting to a more action-friendly international setting. Paris would be a natural choice, bringing the franchise full circle to where Brian first used his lethal skills to track down his daughter's kidnappers. Revisiting old enemies or uncovering remnants of the original human trafficking ring could make for an engaging plot. Another strong European option is Berlin, with its history of espionage and organized crime, providing a dark and gritty backdrop for a new conspiracy involving Brian. If the filmmakers wanted to take the action beyond Europe, South America could introduce a fresh setting. Bogota, known for its ties to criminal networks, would be an intense location for Brian to confront a new threat, possibly involving drug cartels or kidnapping rings. These locations would keep the Taken franchise grounded in reality while offering visually striking and high-stakes environments for Brian Mills' return. And that's all for today's video. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.